We're gonna break the internet today.
Oh yeah, we're gonna rock this internet. We're gonna be controversial, baby.
In a good way.
Yes, yes.
Welcome back to Start the Conversation, everybody. I'm your host, Dalton. I am the Director of Experiential Programming here at Resolutions Healthcare and our flagship center, Hidden Oaks. We are located in Chatfield. We do all levels of care here, so reach out, give us a call, 469-614-8407. I have the boss man himself with us today. Vinnie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Bear. How are you?
I'm good. We got quite a show for our viewers today. One that is we're gonna ruffle some feathers, we're gonna rock some people, and hopefully shed some light on a subject that's been on you for a couple years heavily, and it's been burning on me for a while too. There's a saying, an adage that relapse is part of recovery. And you do not agree with that statement, am I correct?
No, I do not, and it does rub me wrong.
And you just wrote a blog, we've just published it, that relapse is not part of recovery, it's part of addiction. So we're going to talk about the blog. We're gonna break it down a little bit. If you want to go over to resolutionshealthcare.com, you can see all the blogs that we've written, get some good reading material and get your mind going. So what inspired you to write this blog? Let's start there.
Constantly hearing, what do we now? Probably our leadership group with the previous facility, over 5,000 clients. We have come to our centers and our groups. And you always hear that. Well, okay, there's someone that comes back once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Well, relapse is part of recovery and blah, 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 blah. And I used to say it. And then I started kind of giving me a little discomfort, a little cognitive dissonance, as I always say, because I'm saying, wait a minute, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's part of addiction, yes, but it's not part of recovery. And by normalizing it and making it part of the recovery process, you're almost saying, okay, even when you leave now, if you fall and relapse again, it's okay. It's part of recovery. It's part of that road to healing and recovery. No, it's not. And the part that really, really cemented that for me is, wait a minute, people OD and die. Mm-hmm. So there's no way I'm normalizing something where that can happen. The reason it's taken me so long to kind of bring it into harmony in my mind and write this blog was because, okay, but how do we balance? Because I know the reason, people in my profession, therapists, I know the reason and why rehab workers say it. It's to like ease the shame and guilt of relapse so that clients don't beat themselves up too bad. Right. So I get the reasoning, but it's not accurate. Yeah. And then I had to come to terms, well, wait a minute, the shame and guilt is part of the process. You do need to own it. Right. You relapsed. Something went wrong. So let's talk about it. But it's a balance because I don't want too much shame or guilt to where they won't come back, where they won't even try to, heal themselves and they just give up. So there's the balance.
Right. And you've kind of answered this one already in your opening statement, but why do you believe relapse belongs? And some of us are going to hear this and say, man, that's an obvious question, but some people aren't going to hone into it quite as well. Why do you believe relapse belongs on the addiction side rather than the recovery side?
For what I just said, the fact that it's a slip up, it's part of the addiction and the drive and the pull to get back to using. So by making it part of that dark side of addiction, it fits there very well.
Right.
It doesn't fit on the side of recovery because recovery is where we're teaching you tools, how to deal with triggers, how to get grounded, how to deal with unresolved past trauma, how to try to ground yourselves, pursue a mind, body, spirit. Everything's in the positive on the recovery side.
Yeah.
And then, boom, we plop
and then
relapse in there.
Yeah, we're going to plop that in there. It don't fit.
It doesn't fit. Exactly.
When someone relapses, how should we actually describe that event? As a slip up, a mistake, a failure.
Which is the perfect segue with your last word there, failure. That's the next blog that we're going to cover because that's also another area. It is a failing. You're failing to remain sober.
Call it what it is.
Right. It doesn't mean you are a failure. So that's what we teach here with the Trauma and Addictions group. Trauma 2, belief systems. Well, if you believe you're a failure, then everything you fail at, you take it as I am a failure.
Right.
As opposed to, well, I tried this and I failed at it. It's not a bad word, but we make those things a bad word. I failed at it. Doesn't mean I'm a failure. I will try harder next time. I'll do more. I'll get better at it. So it's like I say in the blog, it's kind of, I call it semantics. It seems like I'm just trying to say something differently, and I am, but it is critical when you place it.
It's a critical piece because we're taking it from an enabling and okay position to relapse, and we're moving it over to the dark side where it belongs of, hey, you shouldn't be okay with a relapse because we want to be sober and we want to remain sober.
Right. And that can kill you, that relapse.
Right.
I don't want to be any part of somebody who said, oh, it's part of recovery. Well, when the family calls me and say, well, I guess this is the end of recovery then because my loved one OD'd and died. That's the reality, knock on wood. You're right. But you see, so as subtle as it is, it needs to be. It's just stop sugarcoating. Too many people in my field sugarcoat.
Right.
That's kind of the new way what we do. We do it with anxiety, depression. We kind of sugarcoat and chase all these symptoms instead of, hey, it's okay. Say it the way it is. It's okay. Right. And then process it. I think clients would appreciate that more. And I do bring that up in there. Yeah. Well, you do groups. I do groups. We interact with clients all day. The next time you catch yourself saying that, or if you catch yourself saying that, or a client says, well, yeah, I know it's part of relapse. If you process that with them, there is no way they believe it or you believe it.
Oh yeah, no, I've somebody's brought it up in group before, and I've said, hey, let's think about this for a minute. Let's stop and talk about this. And by the end of it's not a hard discussion. So by the end of the 2-minute discussion, they're like, you're right. It doesn't have to be a part of it.
Right. And if it is, it's part of the addiction side. Yeah. Not the recovery side.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Too many people try to soften it up so it ain't such a blow. But when we do that, we're taking away the guilt feeling, and the guilt feeling helps us to change.
There you go. And that's what I call it. We're normalizing something that we don't belong normalizing. We call it cognitive dissonance. In social psychology, they call it cognitive dissonance. And so we try to make it where they're comfortable. But if you get comfortable with that saying, then there's no reason for you to challenge it. There's no reason for you to feel the dissonance and know that, okay, yes, and I do feel ashamed or I feel guilty about it, which you should.
Yeah.
Those are normal emotions.
That's a good thing.
Right, right. So that's what I talk about. Instead of making those things like, oh, we don't want somebody to feel too much shame and guilt. If they don't feel the shame or the guilt, there's no reason for them to try to do it better, make it better.
Right.
You normalized it. You said, okay, well, they said it's okay. It's part of the recovery process. There you go. See you at the next rehab when you relapse again.
Yeah. You wrote in the blog that shame and guilt need to be felt before they can be resolved. What do you mean by that? Can you dig into that a little bit more?
And that's just what I was saying now. I won't feel it if you excuse it.
Okay.
If you make the relapse okay, so that it eases my shame and guilt. Oh, I don't have to feel guilty about that. No, you do need to feel a bit guilty. Let's dig a little deeper with that relapse. Who did you lie to this time? Who did you steal from, maybe? What loved one did you hurt with this relapse? There's accountability. A relapse, there's accountability. It's not only about you. It's about the people around you. That all has to be owned, as we say in the group. Own it.
Own it.
Now, and I do say, I do recognize that you have to be careful with the balance. I don't want to beat you over the head with shame and guilt.
That's my next question.
Right.
How do we find the balance between healthy accountability and destructive shame?
Another blog I wrote one time, if you might remember it, sometimes good people do bad things. I've done bad things in my life, in my past. I should feel guilty about some of those things I did.
Yeah.
I have to own them. That's how you learn to say, hey, it doesn't make me necessarily a bad person. It's something, I did something bad, but I'm not necessarily a bad person. I failed at this, but I'm not a failure. So it ties into what we teach them with the belief systems. And you have to learn, where did you adopt that belief system from? Right. Maybe from your timeline, maybe from childhood, maybe adolescence, maybe early adulthood. You have to process these things and differentiate and separate them. And make them understand that these shame and guilt are normal feelings and emotions. Sometimes we have to own it. And sometimes it's not realistic, shame and guilt. We have to teach clients there is a difference. Okay, if I was taught, if my belief system is a certain way, okay, I have to learn then, well, that wasn't really accurate. I distorted it. An event happened, and because I was always put down by, let's say, I don't know, my relationship with my dad always put me down. So therefore, I'm weighing myself down with things that happened in my life. I'm taking on guilt that isn't really realistic. And we have to break that down. You have to separate it. You have to know what to own and know what to throw away and say, no, you know what? No, I shouldn't be feeling guilty. I did the best I could with something. Subtle differences, but I'm just tired of the sugarcoating that we do in the field sometimes. Okay. And this is one of those issues. I wanted to put it out there, and we put it out there here. And I hope, and some comments we read already, and I want to make sure I did get across the message. So I'm glad we're following up with the podcast.
So we're gonna do a rapid fire section real quick. So no going real deep into it, but just
No rehearsing. Okay, go ahead.
But just what risks come with normalizing relapse? We've talked about some of them.
Right.
But just real quickly off the top of your head.
It gives you permission to go say, okay, well, this was great being at rehab, but going out, you go home and you take a hit. You lose a job, or somebody, you don't get a job. Oh, poor me. Well, you know what? I'm going to go drink. I'll go back to rehab.
Maybe.
If you don't die.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the last thing that really rubbed me wrong. I don't want to be any part of somebody knowing that that's part of recovery.
Right. So that's a scary thing that
right?
Us professionals in the field have to think of. Do we want that on our conscience? Do we want that in our head? If we're telling these people, yeah, it's part of recovery. It's okay. Go get them next time, Tiger.
Right. There may not be a next time.
Yeah. May not be a next
right.
time. So this next section, practical recovery perspective. If relapse isn't part of recovery, what is part of recovery?
And we brushed on that. Learning to identify triggers. Maybe triggers of past unresolved issues that we teach about. Past unresolved trauma, you get a flashback. We try to teach you how to get grounded instead of what we call, and again, remember, at Hidden Oaks or resolutions, we don't put drugs and alcohol they're not symptoms of unresolved trauma. Symptoms are symptoms: anxiety, depression, flashbacks, nightmares. You run to an unhealthy way to handle those symptoms, which is drugs, alcohol, sexualized behaviors, lying, cheating, stealing, gambling, all kind of unhealthy ways to numb you, make you feel better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have to kind of teach you the difference and to plug us a healthier way until you can continue your treatment with, if it's trauma related, you have to stay sober and begin healing. Our other block.
Healing takes time.
Right. Sobriety is instant. Healing takes time. So again, you're learning to identify what causes relapse. You're learning interventions. You're learning all kind of things to help you battle when you get triggered to or cravings and you want to use. Those are part of recovery. They're positive things.
Right. When someone does relapse, what should the next step actually look like?
Well, again, and that's where I don't want it to where someone doesn't still reach out for help.
Right.
The next step, but when they come in, I'm going to hug them. How many clients we've done this with? We hug them. We emotionally, we care about them.
Of course.
We want them to do better. But then I will also not make it normal. And they have to own the fact they relapsed. Mm-hmm. It's okay. See, that's the point. If when I worked with children who were violent, okay, I worked with children who were severe abuse in a locked facility. They would get aggressive and hit their peers. They know I care about them because I already established that relationship. I will hug them and say, I understand what made you do that. But you know what? You're going to get a consequence. It's not okay that you do it. And give them a consequence. So I love you, but you're still getting a consequence. And I think that's the other problem. Too many professionals haven't resolved their own stuff and get caught. And they don't know how to set that boundary of saying, hey, it's okay to say, I love you, I care about you. That doesn't mean you're not getting a consequence for your behavior. So it's holding you accountable. It doesn't mean I don't love you or I love you any less.
Amen. So if you're listening to this podcast right now and you've just relapsed or you've recently relapsed, pick up the phone, go back to treatment, reach out for help. Don't just stay out there. Don't be okay with it. get back up on the horse and try again. It is okay. Just because you failed does not make you a failure. You got to keep trying. You got to keep pushing forward. You don't want to quit. So pick up that phone, give us a call, give anywhere a call, and get back on the horse. Last thing, what does mind, body, spirit balance mean in the context of recovery? It's on our logos, it's on the wall behind you.
It's on my whiteboard when I do trauma group. It's ingrained in us. It's so simple, we miss it. The fact is, mind, body, spirit. Those are three spheres of what makes us who we are.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't anyone I've met yet out of the over 5,000 clients that we've gone through our doors over the past decade that doesn't have that out of balance. Whether they've been out of shape, their body, their mind is not thinking straight and being constantly reminded unresolved issues in their life. No kind of spiritual meaning, something inside spiritually to help them. You need all I say is this. If you're ever wondering, is addiction a disease, a symptom? Whenever you wonder about all the battles you're doing, know this. Work the mind, we work that here. Your groups, self-education, read, go to therapy. I don't care how you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just constantly challenge your mind. Your body, do something. I don't say you have to lift weights. Walk, run, lift weights if you want. Do something, yoga. Do something to just get yourself moving.
Right.
I mean, come on, that'll help you if you're feeling depressed. Even though you don't want to, you have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritually, I don't care if it's Eastern, Western. I mean, you know that here. I will do whatever it takes for you to find your passion, your purpose, or something spiritual. Could be meditating out there, going out every sunrise and feeling the strength of the sun. I don't care. Reading the Bible, read it. Something that kind of gives you some kind of spiritual strength. If you're working all three, you have a better chance. All we say is you have a better chance at a better life, not just recovery. This is for what we teach for anyone in life.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone in any situation, do something on all three of those spheres and get yourself as strong as possible. And then, because in the trauma group, I teach them, we list trauma. Two of the items we list is death of a loved one, accidents. 3, another one, medical illnesses. These are all traumatic events in our life. If you're not balanced, if you're not strong on those spheres, none of us are avoiding those 3.
We're gonna hit.
They're part of life. So that's what I teach them. If you're here in our rehab learning to strengthen that, you're not in the best state. And no one will ever challenge me when I say that. Why? Because they're here and they know it. They're sitting there. Something is out of balance. They have to know that the stronger they can become on all 3 of those areas, the more they are ready for that next event, which is going to happen to all of us. So it's building the strength there to be able to take the next hit, the next event that's going to happen in our life. So that's really what I preach in my groups anyway.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. 100%. So in closing, relapse is not part of recovery. It is part of the addiction cycle. If you like this blog, if you like this conversation, leave us a comment, hit the like button, hit the share button. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music, YouTube. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram. Reach out to us. Let us know how we can help you. Again, our website is resolutionshealthcare.com. And our phone number is 469-614-8407. Call us today if you or a loved one is in need of some help. All right. We'll see y'all on the next one.